Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisors Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, and we're back at it with more news coming from the Strip. What's going on, Anthony?
Well, off the Strip, right?
That's right. Actually, this one's off the Strip to start.
Finally, Station Casino made the announcement of what they're going to do with their closed casinos.
Okay.
So that's Texas Station and the two Fiestas, Fiesta Rancho, Fiesta Henderson, and they're not coming back.
That's it. They're done. They've been closed down since the pandemic.
Right. They never reopened them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, essentially they looked at their financials and decided that there was no reason, they weren't making enough profit on those that were located way out in the hinterlands, Yeah. They've got other casinos that people have sort of transitioned over to. And they're going to raise those buildings. They're going to knock them down.
So they're not even going to be casinos anymore.
No, I mean that's part of their strategy. They're going to knock them down so they can't be casinos. They're going to sell to a non-casino company. They don't want they don't want somebody to build right there and become competition for them.
Yeah, well, it is prime real estate. It's right by the freeway. It's right close to downtown Henderson. At least the Fiesta is.
Yeah, well, you're talking about there's two Fiestas. You're talking about the Fiesta Henderson.
Yeah.
And that originally opened up as a place called the Reserve.
Okay.
And it looked the way it does now, but it was it didn't have the branding of Station, and it kind of looked like if anybody's ever seen the movie Beau Geste. There was like an old time movie called Beau Geste, and it had an abandoned fort. And that's what it looked like.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was the most uninviting place you ever saw, but it was, from the outside. But it was nice on the inside. The Reserve was cool. And then it became the, Station Fiesta, and it was a good place. The other one on Rancho, the Fiesta Rancho, was the first George Maloof property.
Oh, wow. Okay. Palms wasn't their first casino.
No. The Palms came, a few years after. And they started way out there in North Las Vegas with the Fiesta Rancho. Mm-hmm. And they were famous for two things. One is at the time they had the best buffet in Vegas. When they opened it up, that buffet at the Fiesta was as good as any, that you could get in town, especially for the price. Second is they came up with one of the strongest slogans of all time, which was the Royal Flush Capital of the World.
Hey, there you go. Okay.
That's what they called themselves, and they had to go through a whole bunch of ups and downs with gaming control to be able to use that phrase. And they showed them a bunch of statistics that showed that per number of people that played and whatever, they could lay claim to giving out more Royal Flushes than anybody else.
So does that mathematically mean that they had more video poker players in their casino per capita?
It kind of meant that I think it meant that they got lucky. I mean, you know what I mean? Because they just compared the number of Royal Flushes to the number of players to the number of hands played. Mm. And I think, that they just kind of got lucky and they seized on that. Or at least they were close enough the gaming control let them do it.
Well, I'm still due for my real Royal Flush, which is coming soon.
Well, you had something good happen to you, which we're going to talk about at the end of this.
That's right. All right, and moving on, we have another closing, not quite as significant, but Anthony, tell us about it. What is closing here also on the Strip?
Well, this is right on the Strip. This is a place called MOSAIC on the Strip, and it was a little showroom that has been there for years under a bunch of different names. I mean, it was called the Mets. Okay. And it was called Utopia, Empire Ballroom, Boulevard Theater, Tommy Wynn Theater. And what was significant about, what is now for a short period of time left, the MOSAIC, is that it was a place where you could go to see shows at, for lower ticket prices. Right. Sort of like Alexis Park, Okay. With ticket prices being so high, the MOSAIC was kind of important because there were some good shows there that you could see for under $60. But they're going to close it. Apparently, they're going to turn it into a retail center. Okay.
Well, that's more retail coming to that part of the Strip.
Yeah. Well, this was, it was hard to find. You didn't even know about it.
I didn't know where it was. I was trying to picture, you got the OYO, you got the MGM, and where is it in regards to the MGM?
If you keep going north on the Strip, as you pass MGM, it was set off in the back. And years and years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago, they used to, when it was called the Mets, they used to have a free beer night.
Oh, well,
or a free drinks night. That you could go for, I think it was either Wednesdays or Thursdays, and for 2 hours, drinks were free.
Well, that sounds great.
Guess where I was every Wednesday or Thursday, whichever it was. Guess where I was.
Yeah, I bet. Free drinks, a lot of fun. I don't know how profitable that is.
Well, it was a nightclub. They called it was a form of a nightclub then. Yeah. And it led into people staying there and hanging out for the night. That's really what it was all about.
All right. So they bring you in with the free drinks and then hope you stick around and keep drinking.
Yeah, long gone. No more free drinks.
All right.
No more anything there for a while.
And here's some big poker news. The World Series of Poker has a new world champion.
Yeah, the main event is over.
Yeah.
And the champion is named Espen Jorstad.
Okay.
From Norway.
$10 million. Congratulations.
34 years old, poker pro.
All right.
Got down to the final table was 10 this year. It's always 9, but it was 10 because I guess the night before they played all night. They played something like 17 or 18 hours, and they could not eliminate the last person. So they said, "Fooey on it. We'll have a final table of 10." It got down to heads up between Jorstad and Adrian Attenborough, who apparently is some descendant. Great grandfather was Richard Attenborough, the actor.
Wow.
Australian. And I guess Jorstad and Attenborough went at it for about 90 minutes. There was one major hand, I think the first hand of the heads-up session, that went for 28 minutes.
Wow.
Well, one of them just, as they call, went into the tank and thought about it. And I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really look up on how it ended, but I think somebody finally folded, and I think that's where Jorstad got his push, to led to the victory. There were 3 Americans on the final of 10. They didn't do so well. They took 6th, 9th, and 10th.
And here's something that's not so important, but we think it's cool. Vegas is a destination place for weddings, one of the biggest wedding destinations in the world. And Ben and Jen came and got married here.
Ben and Jen, Ben Affleck and J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, got married last weekend.
Yep, super
and,
cool.
I guess that means a lot to people who watch tabloid things. But it is kind of interesting because they came to Vegas to do it. They went through the process. They went downtown, got their marriage license, supposedly at 11:30. The Little White Chapel is where they did it. They supposedly closed at midnight, but they held it open for Ben and Jen. Right?
Sure.
And I guess at 12:30 they had their wedding. And the Little White Chapel is, Vegas is known as the wedding place. Little White Chapel is probably the most famous chapel. And I mean, they've got a long list. If you go to their website, you can see who's gotten married there. But here's a few of them. Britney Spears, remember that? When she got married to somebody that nobody ever heard of. Steve Lawrence, Needy Gourmet, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, Judy Garland, Michael Jordan, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, Frank Sinatra and Mia Farrow.
All right.
And that's just, that's a few of many that have gotten married there. But what's cool about it is that you can do that as a regular, the public can get married there. I think their packages start at like $50.
There you go. So if you're looking to get married and you want to come to Vegas and you want to go where Ben and Jen and so many others have gone, check out the Little White Chapel.
And it's kind of fun just to drive by. It's very near the pawn shop, Pawn Stars pawn shop.
Yeah.
You're driving between the Strip and downtown. You go by the famous what used to be Olympic Garden Strip Club, which is now I think it's called Peppermint Hippo or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
You go by Dino's, which is
karaoke, baby.
Karaoke
place.
You'll
see me there occasionally.
You'll go by the Little White Chapel. You'll go by Pawn Stars. You get to see all these little joints that you hear about on the fringes. On the way to downtown.
Well, that Pawn Stars is also cool. Like if people are going to check it out, they have Rick's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue, which is Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars.
Good barbecue.
It's really good. And
Arkansas barbecue.
I've seen him there. You go there and he's there shaking hands with people, drinking, having a good time. And
if you're looking for Pawn Stars, look for the line.
Yeah.
There's almost always a line out there.
It's good. You check it out. Some disappointing news from the Strip, from the world of parking. Looks like MGM's increased their parking fees by $3.
Yes. This is, a little bit counterintuitive as far as for what I thought was going to start happening. I still think it's going to happen. I think the casinos, we've talked about this, I think they've got to start easing up a little bit on the gouge just because of economic conditions. What's going on with inflation, what's going on with gas prices, what's going on with visitation. But I'll be darned if the MGM properties didn't raise their parking fees. So now for the first hour is free for everybody. So if you just got to run in and run out, maybe cash a sports ticket or something like that, you're cool there. But then anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, then anywhere from 1 to 4 hours, it is now $15.
Okay.
It used to be 12. So if you stay past an hour, you're going to pay 15. If you stay, up till 4 hours, from 4 hours to 24, it went from 15 to 18.
And I don't know when Caesars raised their prices too, but I stayed at Caesars recently. I stayed at both the Link and Harrah's, and They were more expensive than I remember.
Well, yeah, they're basically the same prices now. MGM rose up to the level that Caesars is at too. So either one, if you have a choice, it really doesn't matter. You're going to pay the same. Locals can still go in for 3 hours. So if you got a Nevada driver's license, both at MGM and Caesars, you get 3 hours free.
Yeah, and I always just say, park at the Venetian. It's free.
Yeah, absolutely. Boo on these parking charges. Boo, boo, boo.
And Elvis is leaving the building. We've reported on there not being many more Elvis shows. This was a cool one. This was Wednesday night at Ellis Island. Your blackjack dealer, Gary Benson, also does Elvis. But what's going on, Anthony? Where's Gary going?
Well, just before we shot this video, I got a extremely important text from Ellis Island informing me or us that Gary Benson will be leaving. I guess he's moving out of state with his wife. And that's horrible. It was a great free Elvis show. It was fantastic. The last anyone who's here on July 27th is going to be his farewell, and it's open to the public 8 p.m. July 27th. Go see Elvis before he leaves.
And now for my favorite jackpot of the week ever. It's me. So
it's not really you.
Well, it's us. Okay, that's right. So my girlfriend Christina and I, we were at Harrah's and we decided to go into the high limit room because why not? You know, there's nobody in there. Okay. You're allowed to go in. And we found the Crazy Money Deluxe, which is always a fun slot machine to play. And there's a lot of different denominations you can play, but we chose to play the minimum. So we were playing $6 per spin. And we hit a jackpot. We hit a $2,000 jackpot. And since we were kind of pooling our money, we decided to split it. And the casino said that they would take the taxes out for us. And so we chose to do that. So congratulations to me and my girlfriend, Christina, for hitting the jackpot. But Anthony, did we make the right move in taking the taxes out? Yeah.
Right. So that's what you told them, because when you hit a jackpot of 1,201 or more.
Call it a taxable.
Yeah. That's called a taxable jackpot. Mm-hmm. And you have to fill that out because that's going to go to the government. And that's considered income. Mm-hmm. You have the option to take it all and do your own taxes, or you have the option for them to take it out. So the question is that the right move?
Yeah.
So I asked Gene Scott because I didn't know the answer. And, whenever I get a taxable, I simply just take the money and I handle it on my own taxes.
You deal with it later.
I never really thought about ever having them take it out. So I asked Gene Scott, who is the author, along with Marissa Chen and Russell Fox, is the author of Tax Help for Gamblers, mm-hmm. which we publish. And Gene had a great answer. She said, it's not a mistake. She says, it's a choice. And I said, explain. I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, well, it's a choice if the person wants to have that happen for whatever reason. Like you had a good reason because you guys wanted to make a fair split.
Yes.
And she goes, it will still be reported on your taxes. It will show that money was taken out, and it will be recalculated. That if you have money coming back to you from what they withheld, it will come back to you then.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're going to have you're going to get the same result either by keeping it and doing your own taxes, or by, taking it out yourself, or by having them take it out and presenting your tax form to the IRS that shows you get a part of that as a refund.
Okay.
So she said it doesn't matter what you do. It cannot be a mistake. It's a choice.
So you heard it here. It's not necessarily a mistake. It's a choice. But now, Anthony, you gamble. So you have wins and losses throughout the year. You wouldn't have taken your taxes out.
I don't, because I file as a professional gambler.
Yeah.
And because I've shown, a profit most of the years that I've done this, almost all of them. And you can then file as if you show that you make money on a consistent basis. You can file as a professional, and you can then fill out your tax forms in that manner and deduct certain expenses like travel and things like that. So you also have to, though, keep a very good diary of your wins and losses. So you can now deduct losses against the wins. It's really complicated. It's explained in the book, Tax Help for Gamblers, but I always do take all the money because I do mine at the end. I have certain expenses I take out, and I'm allowed to do that because of the status as a professional.
All right. Now, Anthony, can you teach the rest of us how to make some damn money at this casino?
I read a lot of books, man. Read a lot of books and practice.
All right. That's it for this week. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Remember to send us your jackpots to the email address right here. And that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Is this something you want to share with people, or
No, it's absolutely fine. Any help? people should know that that option exists and why.
Yeah.
You know, that option exists if you make money.